Alright boys and girls, in today's video we're going to go over everything you need to know about gaining Emperor in ESO. But first up, I think we need to explain what Emperor is and what kind of buffs and stuff it gives you and why in the first place you may go for Emperor. First off, you get a costume, a title, and a color. Once you achieve Emperor, you get this. The costume is pretty cool. The color's cool too. It's all nice. And also, while you are Emperor, you get some insane buffs. This is 100% more recovery, 75% more max stats. So you can see how these builds have crazy stat pools. 100% more ult regen. Building ult on Emperor is just insane, and in a lot of scenarios you can go back-to-back ults. Back in the day I could go back-to-back bats and stuff like that. DBs kind of, or anything that's semi-cheap, you're basically going back-to-back ults on Emperor. You're also receiving 50% more healing, and you're getting extra siege damage. Unfortunately, or for the best, either way you look at it, this extra damage does not apply to players anymore because Emperors used to just one-shot players with Coldfire Siege. Alright, so that's basically what you get as Emperor. So let's discuss the tips and the knowledge that you need to get Emperor. The first tip is get mentally prepared. And what I mean by this is just know that you're going to be spending and dedicating a fair bit of time to this over the next few days to a week. And let your missus know that you're going to lock yourself away in the dungeon or basement, should I say, for the next whatever it may be, and call your boss and say you've got better things to do than show up at work. Also, make sure you got real life food and drinks, so they're easily accessible to you, so you don't need to waste any time doing that. Number 2 is stock up on in-game items. So siege, repair kits, food, potions, all of that stuff, so you don't need to worry about going through and searching your bank or going out of PvP to go buy this kind of stuff. It's just easier if you prepare and get these things ready. Number 3, quests. The AP quests that you get, or PvP quests you get, you want to have these ready to go. So fill them or complete them the day before or week before, whenever, have them ready to go. And there is something that I think a lot of people don't realize is when the campaign flips isn't when the leaderboards flip. So generally the leaderboards lag behind by about half an hour to an hour. So if you see the campaign flip, you go hand these in straight away, go get a big AP tick somewhere, and then wonder why you didn't get that AP. That's why. So what I generally do is I'll have these ready to go. I'll go sit at an AP buff boss. We'll talk about that in a second as well. And I'll wait for AP, the leaderboard, to actually start showing players on it. And at that stage, you know that the leaderboard's flipped and you can go get your buff. Now, what I'm talking about here is the Delve bosses in Cyrodiil give you a 20% AP buff for an hour. I have noticed that these kind of seem to be on like a 3-minute timer or something. Like you go into the Delve and the boss just won't spawn straight away or isn't there. It's like the boss is asleep and you need to wait for it to wake up and appear. Let me know in the comment section if this always happens to you as well. Maybe get your friend to go into a Delve, he waits for the boss to spawn, and then he can get you to come down and get the AP buff. Don't think that you need to have this up 100% of the time. If you are in a really good AP situation, you've got a good D-tick, or you've got a good farm going on with lots of AP rolling in, don't worry about it. Because you think about it, 20% of 100k is only 20k, and it's going to take you 5 or so minutes to go get that AP buff. So you can quite easily outpace what the AP buff would be giving you. Obviously, if it's a quiet server, then you're going to go get it on cooldown. Now, let's talk about some ways that you can actually earn AP. And obviously, we all know the common ways, but repairing keep walls and doors is actually not a bad way of earning AP. And if you have major mending, you actually repair the keep wall for more. This doesn't give you more AP total, but it will give you more AP per minute. And as someone that lives in Australia, playing prime, like Australian times, sometimes there were no fights back in the day when I was going for Emperor. And the only thing I had was, go repair keeps. This can also be a good thing to do when you're waking up in the morning. Maybe you've gone and had an hour nap, you come back, you're a bit groggy, and you just want to, get a steady income of AP. So yeah, this can be really handy. Something else that they changed I guess it's a while ago now, but you used to have to actually be at a keep physically there to get the D tick or the O tick. But now you can go to a keep or resource or whatever it may be, gain a bit of AP so you go into that pool. Basically, the way D ticks and O ticks work is it'll calculate everyone that earned AP there and all the AP that goes into the pool plus the base amount of AP, and then it's divided by everyone. You don't need to be at a keep to receive the tick. What this means is you can go flip resources, you could move on to a totally new fight and earn AP there, and you'll get that D tick for that keep. Also, if you've got friends, your friends can let you know when something's just about to flip or so and so you can get there and get the tick. All right, so now you have got number 1 on the leaderboard, you followed all these things, and you finally out AP'd the opposition, and you're in number 1. And if I haven't mentioned that already, that's what you need to be able to get Emperor, is number 1 on the leaderboard. What you want to do now is call your one friend up, let him know that you're ready to go, and the push begins. You have to capture all the circle keeps in Cyrodiil to become Emperor. You only need to hold all of them for 1 second, and there's been quite a few Emp pushes that have either failed or actually gone through, and we're talking less than seconds. I tell you what, it gets the heart rushing when you are in that kind of scenario. You know another keep's about to flip, you know this keep's about to flip, and it is exciting. But anyway, once you hold all the inner circles, you become Emperor. And we talked about what you get when you are Emperor. I don't think we've discussed how you get dethroned. What happens is even if you lose the number 1 position on the leaderboards, you are Emperor till you lose all of the inner keeps. You only need to hold on to 1. That's all it matters to keep Emperor. So sometimes I'm sure we've seen it, massive fights over a keep to dethrone. Yeah, so that's basically it, guys. Let me know in the comment section if this video helped you get Emperor, or if you guys have got any good tips on how to farm AP. There is a lot of options out there in regards to how you farm AP. Obviously, I will give you this tip. Having an external heal and a hot will help you a little bit. My missus heals more than what I do, and generally her AP gain is about 10 to 20% higher than mine, even though we're in the same fights. But yeah, alright, as always, boys and girls, I love yous, and I'll catch yous next time. Peace.